Have you ever felt lost, broken, or like you've strayed too far to find your way back? This is the story of a young man who hit rock bottom. But what happened next will leave you speechless. Stay tuned as we uncover the timeless lesson behind one of the most powerful stories ever told, the Prodigal Son. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Lost and Found, a father's unbelievable response. Long ago, in a land where the sun rose over rolling hills and the air was filled with the scent of fresh bread and olive oil, there lived a wealthy man with 2 sons. His estate was vast, his flocks abundant, and his servants loyal. But one fateful morning, his younger son, a restless young man, approached him with an unusual demand. "Father," the son said boldly, "give me my share of the inheritance now. I don't want to wait until you're gone. I want to live my life my way." The father's heart ached. He knew this decision would lead to heartbreak, but he honored his son's request. He divided his wealth, giving the younger son his portion. With a pouch heavy with silver and gold, the young man left the village, his sandals kicking up dust as he waved goodbye. His journey took him to a distant land, a place of glittering lights, noisy markets, and feasts that stretched into the night. He spent freely, buying fine clothes, hosting lavish parties, and surrounding himself with people who pretended to be his friends. But as time passed, his coins dwindled, and his so-called friends disappeared. One fateful day, famine struck the land, and the young man found himself destitute. His fine robes were now tattered, his stomach empty, and his pride crushed. Desperate to survive, he took a job feeding pigs, a humiliating task for any Jew. Day after day, he trudged to the muddy pens, his stomach growling as he watched the pigs eat. He longed to fill his belly with their food, but no one gave him anything. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, he sat in the dirt, reflecting on his choices. "Even the servants in my father's house have more than enough to eat," he thought. "Here I am, starving to death. I will return to my father and say, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants.'" With renewed determination, he rose and began the long journey home. The road was dusty, the journey humbling, but he pressed on, rehearsing his apology with every step. As he approached his village, his heart pounded. What would his father say? Would he even be allowed back? But before he reached the gates, he saw a figure running toward him. It was his father. The old man, filled with compassion, had been watching the horizon daily, hoping for his son's return. Now his arms were outstretched, his eyes brimming with tears. "Father," the son began, his voice trembling, "I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But before he could finish, his father embraced him tightly, his tears soaking the young man's tattered clothes. "Quick!" the father shouted to his servants. "Bring the best robe and put it on him. Place a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Kill the fattened calf. We must celebrate. My son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." That evening, the estate was filled with music, laughter, and joy. The once lost son sat at the banquet table, a symbol of grace and redemption. What would you do if you were the father in this story? What if you were welcomed back with open arms after losing everything? What would you do in this situation? This timeless story reminds us of God's unconditional love and forgiveness. No matter how far we stray, He is always waiting, arms open wide, ready to welcome us home.